Welcome back, everybody. Still here at the PIA Conference Championships, brought to you by TEC. 2 series left and 2 more champions to crown here on the mainstream. Myself, Llama77, and your boy Q up here on the desk. And Q, we're jumping over to our 3rd unique title of the day in Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals should be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Sticking on board with D1. And then we're also going to have D1 at the end of the night instead of going down D3. We'll talk about that later, because right now it is Marvel Rivals D1 Eastern Conference Championship, CB South versus Wyoming Valley West. We had mentioned earlier how, when you think about kind of schools that are usually pretty strong in their titles, CB South, usually one that you see a lot of in Overwatch. I can't say that I'm too surprised to have seen them kind of be able to transition that over into Marvel Rivals as we have incorporated that title here in PIA over the last 2 years long.
Yeah, they've been very good, and especially earning that #1 seed, getting to move into a conference championship here. On the other side, you talk about the success from some of these different teams around the league, and Wyoming Valley West actually finds the upset in that semifinal over the #2 seed, find their way here in the conference finals, and now have a chance to lift the trophy. And for a first-year title, we're going to add this to states as well, so this is a really big chance for all of our teams to really stake their claim on a first spring conference title, and then try and win the first ever state title.
Yeah, be able to put yourself in a place in history here, as Brendan Chala will be where we're off to as far as for map #1. And you had mentioned as far as heading into things here when we talk about for Marvel Rivals. I mean, I feel like for CB South, a team that I feel like usually starts really, really hot. So it's going to be up to Wyoming Valley West here to really try their best to kind of come out and dictate the pace early.
We'll see how they end up doing. Of course, still in this kind of best-of-5 format. Got to get the first to 3 if you want to win the overall series. And similar to all of what is going on with our Overwatch earlier, it's basically the same thing. You lose, you still have the advantage of choosing the next map in the line, but it's the same thing where if you're the winners and they choose a payload-style mode, well, you get the advantage of choosing attack or defense.
Same sort of style as far as that goes. Let's kind of talk about, we've been talking throughout the course of the day, what state implications are kind of on the line. Here for this, both of these two teams, this is one of those matchups where both are in states already. This is simply really about finding your place, your seating within the bracket. I think the biggest goal is to try and put yourself as far away from early matchups from the teams of the likes of Penn Manor, South Fayette, and Carlisle, who do currently sit at the top of our Marvel Rivals points as far as D1. But for Central Buck South, I think technically are in a position, I think, where they can put themselves in the top 3, if not the top 1's position, I think, with a win today.
It's pretty big. I mean, a lot on the line for these teams, and obviously for some of them it might be their first time playing on land. For the CB South roster, it's going to be a lot of familiar names, and they've got a lot of experience from their other titles that they do play. But this is a good chance to really get yourself your footing underneath yourself before those state championships do hit. Let's head on into the bands here for map #1. We're going to Domination to start things off.
What legends are going to be, what heroes are going to be taken off the board as far as early, and then head into some early picks as well. And is there anything that you're expecting to see coming into play here, Lam?
I mean, the meta's been rapidly shifting. I think that the Magneto's a pretty good lock to come in, along with that Gambit being banned away. Again, if you were watching Overwatch earlier, the mention of a cleanse is something that only is available on that Gambit. So taking it off the board just means that you're going to be able to attack the backline a little bit more. Bruce Banner, aka Mr. Hulk, is going to be the second lock-in coming through from Wyoming Valley West, and then the Psylocke is going to be the follow-up ban. So a lot of targeted here going through towards the backside, but of course there aren't those specific role restrictions here in Marvel Rivals, so you can play any different type of composition you really want.
Yeah, I guess that is a very good point, huh? You got a little bit more flex as far as on your composition. We'll be definitely keeping an eye on that as we get through the rest of our maps here. I always kind of like to see the dynamic shift between the two, and can't say that I'm too surprised as far as I'm save on the Black Panther. I feel like a character we see a lot of over the course of the season. And now just heading down the home stretch here of our last couple bands, we'll see who people are actually picking, and we'll actually get into the swing of things, kick things off.
Should be a good one. 11 to start out here in map number 1. Again, domination very similar to that kind of control style back in Overwatch. At the same time, though, there is one big distinction that we'll have to watch out for. From submap to submap, in Overwatch, you see everybody spending everything right at the end of a submap, because you can't carry anything over. Here in Marvel Rivals, ultimates do carry over, and the percentages carry over as well. So one bad fight at the end of a submap, if you invest too much, can snowball into the next submap.
I always like that, though, because it makes it to where there's a little bit more of the consideration, thought process, and there's more strategy, right? You're not just burning everything at the end of a round. It really, I think, makes the end of rounds hold a little bit more weight when you think about early on, like first submap 1 in Marvel Rivals compared to the other. But as we do get ready to take to the field here, I mean, any early, I guess, predictions from you, Lum, before we actually get into submap?
I mean, to be fair, Central Buck South has looked very, very good. They're the #1 seed for a reason. I think that it's going to take a lot for Wyoming Valley West to not only win here, but also earn themselves a second upset in a row. But we're on land, so I think my prediction is I want to go as long as possible. I want to see as many maps as we can, just because we get more content. Why not?
Why not? That is a very good point, but let's actually get on down into it. You mentioned Central Buck South do come in as the #1 seed. Wyoming Valley West has already upset one team. Why not upset the big dogs here today? In a similar sort of fashion to Overwatch, right, as far as with our playlist early on, really kind of more about kind of getting the gunnies warmed up and starting to see what the coordination looks like between our teams.
The Quickster, a familiar name, just like a few of the other players here on this team. IHOP Pancakes playing their same strategist role is what we'll call it here, but the support role similar over towards Overwatch. The Quickster is a lot of their front line, and being able to use this Magneto to a T gets you access to that Meteor M, that backline destruction tool. One of the other things, obviously, you have the extra player, so fights usually go a little bit longer. Jay has found themselves the double kill to start things off, and Watermelon Cat able to attack themselves on top. So 4 straight kills here, a good start.
Yeah, you mentioned as far as the fights lasting a little bit longer, but man, they didn't last too much longer there, did they? The Titans were able to really push right onto the site, able to take control. And well, hold on just a moment here. I might have a pause for a second. I came in from Snapthorn on the other side. Looks like may have a technical difficulty going on as far as with some audio, which is quite unfortunate to get things started off. So, of course, do want to make sure got everybody being able to hear anything. You thinking a map like this, audio can be a big clues as far as for what you want to push forward next with.
Yeah, hearing those ultimate cues and hearing those different ability cues is definitely very important, especially in a game like this. But, you know, getting to see an early brawl between these two teams and getting to see a pretty big shakeup right at the start, it's going to be interesting to see. Very different style of compositions. It feels like on the one side, you've got this, again, Magneto front-to-back composition where you're playing off that frontline shield and then trying to get access to that really big ultimate. But there's also a lot of tools on that other side. You talked about that Black Panther, very good at ripping down isolated targets and especially at ripping down tank health bars. So getting that target first, getting that double kill and starting off a fight really good.
Definitely looked really, really good over on that Central Buck side. I wonder how much, as far as from what we saw, as things kind of unraveling on the Wyoming Valley West, was more on the confusion with one player not being able to hear, because sometimes just a little bit of a disruption can cause quite a bit there. So I'll be curious to see how long that does take as far as getting things started. I guess if I am a player that's going to experience some technical difficulties, Llama, I'd rather do it right up off of the rip versus middle of the series, you know?
Or in a game number 7 with a minute left to go or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. Obviously, for these teams, looks like they are good to go now. For everybody here in this server, there's a lot on the line we talk about for this first map, and for this first sub-map especially. I think, again, Wyoming Valley West over on that red side, Central Buck South over on that blue side, and they're getting a really good frontline pressure, but for Snapthorn and the rest of the crew, they just haven't been able to hold against this Black Panther. You get the ultimate coming out from Reaps, and VKR is actually able to shut it down. That Invisibarrier trying to kind of dissect that fight from left to right, and it's them using every everything on top of everything, and Snapthorn's ultimate will continue to delay.
Oh, the big boy coming out. He's pumped up in the Hulkster. John Peanut trying to be disruptive. Not quite going to be able to find enough on that backside, though, to be able to pick up the elimination. Does mean as far as for the side of Central Bucks South, they've still got 6 players standing.
Good take back for them, and a good little battle between the two of them. I am interested to see how these ultimates do come through. We talk about for the Quickster, you're building up towards this Meteor M. You're really looking for 2 or 3 kills is the highest value, but even getting 1 off of that one is pretty big. For John Peanut gets to use that frontline shield, getting the clap, and being able to use that alternate form of Bruce Banner's Hulk to try and dive on forward.
See how much space they can buy for the rest of the squad, but as for now, it feels like since CB South has taken control of the point, they've been able to do a really good job of spreading out to be able to apply pressure from multiple angles. They haven't really been able to get much access onto the point here for Wyoming Valley West. There's a chance here, but they're grouped together. This could be a death ball potential.
JJ finds the first kill, but it's Wyoming Valley West with so little members left to go against this Meteor M strike. A double kill comes through from the Iron Fist, and VKR has done what they can to dismantle the front line and give Central Bucks South their first percentage lead of this entire submap. It feels like they have a lot of control, but at the same time, we talk about how quickly this can snowball away. Wyoming Valley West has no ultimates to play off of, though.
They don't have anything. I mean, I guess you got a couple players who are getting relatively close if you can extend this fight potentially, but that does mean you still have to find a way to at least open things up. You do have Reaps who will finally have theirs available, though. Might be enough to be able to get control of the point.
I mean, VKR is just continuing to put the damage down, and it is so tough to battle through a composition that just wants to fight you at so many different angles. From Fireball, Tub is going to try and go. They will find a Thor's Hammer to deliver themselves a double kill. It's a big ultimate coming from John Peanut to try and keep the health bar flowing, but this Hulk can only survive for so long. The overtime fuse is going to diminish, and Central Bucks South has found a submap 1 victory.
Oh, they might have, that first fight might have been a little sloppy from Central Bucks South, but after that, they looked incredibly clean there on Stellar Space Point. I mean, the first initial brawl was in favor of Wyoming Valley West, but every team fight after that, it felt like Central Bucks South, if they dropped anybody, it was like 1 person at most. For the most part, it was 6 people still left standing, Llama.
Another pause requested here from Central Bucks South, making sure they've got everything working out for themselves. Wyoming Valley West, a good fight, I think, at the start. We're able to generate a ton of percentage for themselves. We're able to find a few team fights. But the good news is they saved away a lot of those percentages. They didn't overinvest there towards the end, so they should be ready to go here for the submap number 2. And again, this is just early in map number 1 for these two teams trying to find their footing, and one of these two teams lifting up a trophy at the end of the day.
And still best of 5s here, just like as far as an Overwatch. So first to be able to pick up 3 maps. So there's still a bit of time for Wyoming Valley West to be able to turn things around here. So we'll have to see if they can bounce back. I think especially on this, I mean, even when we talk about this first map, we're still far from done. We saw them have the ability to take over a team fight very quickly. They just got to figure out what was the recipe for success that worked that time around, or maybe what adjustments need to be made after CB South seemingly got a read on that first fight. But I do believe we should be hopefully jumping back in here in just a couple of minutes to actually play that thing out loud.
Yeah, excited to see what these teams have in store. Obviously, those swaps can come at any time here, especially in this map of control or domination here in the Marvel Rivals scene. Map number 1 is a big one, but it's going to be a long series as well, and we have a little bit more limited map pool just because Marvel Rivals is a newer game overall. There's less of those flashpoints or pushes style modes, so we're going to be repeating a lot of the things we're playing today, maybe on different maps, but it's going to be very similar modes. And, you know, even after you lose this one, you don't really have a good choice because it's you either play a payload mode or you play a payload mode with an unlock payload mode at the start.
Yeah, so very similar sort of vibe. So maybe if you're more like me and Overwatch is more traditionally what you watch, it's still a lot of. And hey, here as well at Marvel Rivals, you got the 6v6. So if you're a long time Overwatch guy, you definitely probably missing the 6v6 feel of Overwatch, if we're being honest. But yeah, I think as far as for these two teams here, again, keeping in mind, this is one of our matchups. Whoa, camera. This is one of our matchups where it is simply about seeding versus actually if you qualify for states or not. And I can't help but wonder if Llama, does that actually help with there being less stress, right? Because you know that you're in states regardless. This is just more simply about helping the arranging of it. You know your season's not done, you know?
I feel like it's in some sense less stress, where like you said, you already know you're making those state playoffs, but at the same time, it honestly puts a little bit more stress on you because you talk about the difference of, okay, we already made it to states, but this one best of 5 is going to decide whether or not we're amongst the best of the best and we're getting an easier matchup, or we're going to drop down a few slots and then have to play a harder matchup. And this single best of 5 will either make our lives easier or harder down the line. And with a trophy on the line, on land, like we said, my nerves at least would be running high.
For sure, for sure. And I imagine surely CB South would like to continue to add to their collection. They had a pretty strong showing in the fall as far as I think they took home a couple back in the fall, and looking to add just another to their tally here, obviously, after their performance earlier today as well. So I think from what we've seen thus far, again, only one sub map into map number 1. They're looking pretty darn good, but Wyoming Valley West, they do definitely still have time to respond. I do got to say, though, it felt to me that it almost felt like the comms were a little bit cleaner as far as target priority, because it felt like you saw the players kind of more falling in, like the pressure wasn't being spread out amongst the 6 players, which is so tough when you do have 6 players to be able to try and take down, you know?
I mean, there's an extra voice in the overall communications, right? You have an extra line into this setup. Central Buck South, though, they have had so much success over the course of today already with their Overwatch team. Now we get to watch their Marvel Rivals team, and it is much of the same. Very, very communicative. And right now, they've got 2 ultimates that they carry into this next submap. It's just the one from Wyoming Valley West, but they almost have Watermelon's ult up and available. So I'll be excited to see when Snapthorn pops theirs. Quickster is almost already back to the Meteor M as well. So we'll see who gets first touch.
Seen John Peanut has been able to do a really good job, at least on the side of Wyoming Valley West, generally being the first to point and at least leading the charge on the whole. No different this time around. However, when we think back to that first submap, that first fight was a very quick one. Wyoming Valley West quickly able to take down the Titans. It hasn't been the case. Actually, it does seem that the Titans have continued to be locked in as they are about to find their first pick. And there it is. Taku got it, so is Watermelon.
I mean, that is incredible from Snapthorn again, just looking for those longer range pistol shots, putting up the sword for the extra deflection. And Taku has to go back to base as Central Buck South. They get the first touch here. Just incredible stuff here, and they don't have to use too many ultimates to do it. We talked about for VKR, their ability to shut down that front line has been incredible, is 75% away from the Living Chi. Wyoming Valley West has got to find some answers.
See if they can figure it out here as far as within this next fight. Already starting to see past that 20% mark. Here is CB South. Taku trying to at least help from a distance. It does seem, however, that Central Buck South holding on to these 3 ultimates that they got. Waiting. Oh, now make it 4 ultimates as actually Blaze has just picked up theirs as well. And it looks like now is the green light.
Really good push here. I mean, the double communication ultimate from Snapthorn and IHOP Pancakes is so much healing and damage, and VKR the entire time is just smelting the back line. It's Watermelon Cat that does get one back. Living Chi still available from VKR if they want to use it, but little do they need it. I mean, VKR is holding off here without even having to use the ultimate. Quickster finds a double with the frontline damage, and it is 60% already built up for the Titans.
Does a great job of being able to weather the storm. Yeah, JJ still has their ult, but more than likely with the fact that they're already over 70%, JJ is probably the only Wyoming Valley West player that's going to be able to use their ult before the end of things. And meanwhile, you do have 2 ults still left for you if you're the Titans. It feels like they're secured in wrapping up this map here quickly, Llama.
Just one more fight is really all it takes, and VKR has held onto this ultimate. Sure, JJ is able to get down 2. That is the front line, so Fireball Tub will try and go from the sky, liberating the hammer and allowing the lightning to fly free. Wyoming Valley West playing a really good supportive comp around each other. Living Chi will come out, but I don't think VKR has the damage to stop this push, so Wyoming Valley West will keep it alive. but they got to play flawless from here on out.
Maybe I was wrong about them not getting any more ults available over on that Wyoming Valley West side. Not gonna lie, wasn't expecting them to take over the point, but now that they have, you will have quite a few more ults that should be available here in about the next 20 seconds or so. But you mentioned they're going to have to play a darn near perfect brand of rivals just to win this first map subset, and they're going to see what Central Buck South bringing here.
They've got no ultimates, so this is one of the chances, I think, for Wyoming Valley West that you can start that snowball, start to build it up, and especially because they're targeting IHOP Pancakes and VKR is dead. No more Iron Fist here as John Peanut activates the ultimate, gets the double kill, and is just slamming them into the wall, literally and figuratively at the same time. Wyoming Valley West, they've got no give here, and they've fought their way back as they freeze away Mr. Man Green.
We'll still be able to get back to safety here as Wyoming Valley West is now officially over that midway point. Probably 2 more fights at it as they have been able to regroup back together here as Wyoming Valley West. And it's going to be all up to what Central Buck South can do, because right now Wyoming Valley, or both sides actually have 2 ults available.
This is a really big chess match between the two of them, but Fireball Tub is able to take down JJ. Both teams, though, lose a lot of heal cut to the backline. Quickster, Meteor M to the backline, doesn't find anything. They'll try and fight this 5v5. Reaps will try and go here. Big ol' takedown from the skyline with that ultimate, and the tsunami is not enough. We will see from Watermelon Cat what they want to do with the Invisibarrier. This is going to go up to almost overtime unless Fireball Tub can do anything about it. IHOP has got the damage, has got the healing, has got the togetherness, but it's Butters with the Meteor M and a double ultimate the other way. How much is this man going to get as Thor is the biggest question at the end of this fight. It's another ultimate from John Peanut that expires. Snapthorns comes back. Quickster finds the double, and Central Buck South looking like they're going to clean this one up.
Yeah, Blaze hits theirs. Snapthorns already used theirs. They just continue to have the advantage when it comes to the ultimates available for them in this final fight, and slowly have been ticking away at being able to get the control. Give it credit where credit's due to Wyoming Valley West. They ain't giving up until it's the end, but at the end, it is the Titans who will be able to come out on top as they've got complete control of this point, and flipping over is the overtime wick as it counts down. CB South take map number 1.
Fought back from a deficit in that sub-map 1, are able to fight their way through a 99-100 victory in that sub-map number 2. And Central Buck South doing a lot of winning here today. They find a first map victory overall, and they put themselves into a good position. Quickster will earn the MVP.
Shout out to Quickster, rocking the double titles today and trying to pick up a second conference championship. Leads the way in map number 1. And again, got to give credit where credit is due to Wyoming Valley West. They were able to come in here, and especially in that second point, I mean, put them to the test over on that Titan side of the server. But it is still a sweep nonetheless.
It goes down as a sweep, and it will also go down as a map number 1 victory for the Central Buck South team. What that means is Wyoming Valley West, maybe they've got a couple tricks up their sleeve and get to pick where we're going to go next. They've got to have a really good decision. We've said it all day long, trying to avoid putting yourself in a must reverse sweep position as well has got to be ideal.
Well, we've only seen one team be able to bounce back after dropping map number 1, but that was because they did indeed dominate in map number 2. And funny enough, it was CB South who bounced back after the map number 1 loss. They're going to look to try and prevent Wyoming Valley West from now doing that, as we have a similar title here in Marvel Rivals. We will have to see what map they do send things to here, Llama, on the other side of this break, as we do wait to see where they send us. But we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, folks. Maybe grab yourselves a quick drink of water, as we'll have some more Marvel Rivals action for our Eastern Conference Division 1 Championship after this.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Esports Association Conference Finals, brought to you by TEC. We are a smidgens of a way through our schedule, but still more to go, and we are knee-deep in a Marvel Rivals series. We're going on to map number 2. Central Park will be the selection, as Central Buck South were able to walk away with a map number 1 victory.
We're going to New York. I love Central Park. It's beautiful vibe, beautiful scenery. I'm for it. No, yeah, Central Park here as far as for map number 2. And we do apologize for a little bit longer of a wait between maps 1 and 2. And we do appreciate y'all's patience. We did still have some of those technical difficulties going on site. We want to make sure all of our players were able to have not only their hands and their eyes available, but their ears available as well, like we were talking about, especially in a map in a game like this where it's 6v6. Every little bit of audio cue can really help when it comes to trying to come out on top in some of these big fights, especially when you got a title on the line.
Yeah, every little thing matters. And obviously for these kids coming back from Wyoming Valley West, trying to fight their way from this deficit, you're going on to a hybrid style map. It's called Convergence and Marvel Rivals. So we'll kind of start with that neutral objective and then follow it up with that follow-up payload. We'll go straight on into the bans here for this map number 2. The Psylocke is something Central Buck South have not wanted to see in back-to-back maps, making sure that that backline cutter is not available.
Strong pick, and for understandable reasons, seeing him taking it off the board. Can't say that I blame them too much here. Now going to be seeing the Gambit saved, but remind me, that's the opposite side from where we had seen the Gambit saved last time, right?
Actually, I think they banned the Gambit last time away, so this time deciding to lock it in, wanting to try and play for that cleanse. The other lock is the Luna Snow, so a lot of healing, a lot of potential support play there. And I'm excited to see what Central Bucks actually go for their second lock, because they already have one support in there. Quickster was very good from that Meteor M from the Magneto frontline, but so was Wyoming Valley West, so I don't know that either one of them is going to be rushing to ban it.
Come down the home stretch. One more pick for both sides. One more ban for both sides onto the table. There it is. Another one onto the board, Llama. Who do you think we're going to be seeing picked for Wyoming Valley? Oh, never mind. I didn't get to ask the question. Last time around, and again, it's one of those where it was Black Panther banned, I think, last time by Wyoming Valley West, picked this time around.
It's a good selection, especially for what it can do to front lines and its mobility to attack the back line as well. So final setup of bans coming on through. Punisher is something Wyoming Valley West do not want to see. It's consistent damage. It has a shielded form as well, so it's something that can attack you from multiple different angles and really put out the pressure. It is also important to note, actually, we are going to get the Magneto banned away. So some different frontliners are going to have to be selected here from these two teams. The Vanguard picks will be interesting. But what I also wanted to note was the side selection. Wyoming Valley West did select Central Park Convergence. Central Buck South will pick defense to start out on.
And thinking back to, again, and we'll make some of these similarities just because the two games are so similar between Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, but I felt like they always had really good game plans on their defensive side. We see some similar names on that side for CB South, so honestly can't say that I'm too surprised to see them opting to start on the defense. We talked about it a lot over on the Overwatch side of the day. I feel like most people tend to lean that direction, and we'll see that from the Titans here.
Well, let's see how things change up going into this one. Blaze is going to be locked in on that Gambit, and John Peanut is actually moving away from role to role off of that Vanguard and over to that Strategist. So on the Gambit on both sides here, I think one of the bigger things is Fireball Tub is also not going to be playing the Thor and is going to be on Mr. Eye of Agamotto with that big, powerful, stunning ultimate. You also have a teleporter that can get you from place to place very quickly, so fights that often seem unwinnable or spawn camping can come back to make sure you get in those fights.
I think a lot of these maps here, when it comes to right up off rip, the first choke point is going to be what's important for Wyoming Valley West to be able to overcome. Of course, the Groot has those walls to be able to break line of sight at times, which may be helpful as far as to be able to help yourself heal up, but that also kind of gives you less options as far as pushing forward when you're stuck behind them.
It was also interesting, we saw in the chat from both these two teams that they actually were making some swaps. So Arteme comes on in here, will try and provide some damage, and has already found a double kill to start out this map. Wyoming Valley West, again, they are on the attacking side, so they're the ones that have to really find the control, get things forward. You have this kind of team-up action with everybody on top of each other, and it does mean for Wyoming Valley West, they're going to go for some instant swaps. Watermelon is going to bring back out the Hella to provide them with some long-range damage.
The death ball starting to build up over on that CB South side, and they seemingly are starting to build up a little bit of momentum as well. They've already taken 1 minute and 15 seconds off of the board, and Wyoming Valley West have yet to even sniff the point. And as it does look like now, have already been able to take down 2, make it 3. Looking to complete the team wipe here, Llama.
I mean, the pressure is absolutely immense, and the Quickster on this brand new roll is once again finding so much. Snapthorn off the back of it will be able to find a kill, and Arteme gets the cleanup. How about this setup? They've already got some ultimates on board. 2 minutes already left to go here for this side of Wyoming Valley West. They are starting to run out of time, and realistically right now this Winter Soldier is just causing so many problems as the Quickster finds their mark. Arteme finds another from the top rope, and it's going to be an Invisa Barrier, an Eye of Agamotto that stuns up 2, and Wyoming Valley West can kiss this fight goodbye.
They fall so quick over on the Wyoming Valley West side, and while I know usually most people keep an eye on the middle of their screens to see what's going on, my eye couldn't help but look up towards the top left-hand corner. CB South has been staying basically, I mean, 3/4 full on health or more. They're honestly just absolutely dominating these team fights right now, Llama.
Not taking much damage.
That's a problem because you look at the time that's left to go. It's only 1.5 minutes. JJ is going to try and go with the match of this Winter Soldier. The problem is, guess what? Kraken impact right on your face.
Goodness.
Finds the KO. And it's going to be all down to this Venom to try and hold this front line. Central Buck South with so much control. They get the trade away, actually. It's Watermelon Cat who finds that frontliner. Arteme has been lighting them up. Has the Phoenix. They have the Gambit ultimate for the full shuffle, and here it goes. The Phoenix to the back line, blows up 1. Arteme almost has already won the fight for them with the damage.
They saw a lot of damage across the board, gave them the green light to push forward, but right now holding the line very well is Wyoming Valley West. And not only have they been able to hold the line, they've pushed back a little bit as well, being able to spend a couple of ults, and they may even be able to take control of this point and may be able to unlock it in a moment as long as they can stay on their feet.
And the pressure from the Quickster continues to provide fight-winning moments here. Wyoming Valley West, they're under 30 seconds to go. This attacking side could fall flat on their own map selection. Quickster finds a quadra kill off this Winter Soldier, and Blaze is ready to clean up the rest. The healing, phenomenal. The setup is good, and Watermelon Cat has to pull out the portal from the Doctor Strange, and I just don't think it's going to be enough. And I am Agamotto waiting in the wings here from Fireball Tub, and Arteme's already found Cooler dead. The Eye of Agamotto stuns 3, and the Quickster waves goodbye to him.
Last 2 players left to fall. Venom will fall, and so will JJ, and that will allow for this overtime wick to disappear. Map number 2. Just about, it feels like, done here. I mean, to be able to absolutely hold them to 0% capture progress means Central Buck South only needs to get a third of the way there.
You'll need a top-notch team to win.
Literally a single fight win is all it will take to push it over the line. And for Central Buck South, what a statement it would be. We already talked about their comeback victory earlier today. It seems like that must have warmed them up for right now, because the players that have transferred over, roles transfer as well. The Quickster playing on multiple different roles across multiple different games. That is a talent that not everyone can do.
You'll see a couple of players from a school here or there here at PIA, but it's not something you see very often. And it's one thing to like play on the teams and be on the roster, but we've seen Quickster deliver some big plays and big moments already here as far as within Marvel Rivals. Did the same thing in Overwatch. I think that they started the day with no conference titles in their hands, going to be leaving the day with 2 potentially. Has to have them feeling pretty good.
And their Central Bucks brothers of East are playing Valorant a little bit later as well. So a chance for the Central Bucks School District to find some titles and walk away with even more. For Central Buck South, though, a chance, like we said, to close things out very quickly. Quickster will jump off into a more volatile DPS. Arteme still rocking what they were rocking back in that first half. And that yellow tick is all they have to get to. A single fight is all it takes.
One fight is all they need, and they have been looking really darn strong here through the first map, and of course on the defensive half here as well. Quick portal to be able to get right up onto the point. First engagement is what it's all about. They've dropped the first player though on the Titan side.
Oh, they just were not able to step back up good enough with that Deadpool drop off, and John Peanut finds the long range. Watermelon Cat has got the cleanup, and it's in part to this group that is just putting up walls every which way they can see it. Wyoming Valley West, that's a good start. That's a minute gone, but the Quickster has started this reversal fight.
Yeah, they've already found one pick here, so that does mean the chance that they can round this corner and start to apply a little bit more pressure, especially as they've been able to find another opening. They can start to stagger this squad out. We've got to keep in mind, again, all they need to do is win one team fight to be able to get the capture to that one tick marker to be able to take map number 2. Could it be it here?
Winter Soldier goes down. Arteme gets the trade from up above. It's a 1-for-1, but Watermelon Cat is going to work off of this Raging Royal Flush from John Peanut to get the cleanse and all of the healing that comes with it. Arteme is stuck here between a rock and a Watermelon Cat that claws them down. The Titans just have no answer here to the frontline take. The Quickster, though, has the Kraken impact.
Bolts available, and you'll have probably 3 more that come over during the course of this fight as well. Wyoming Valley West will get access to probably 3 during the course of this fight, but it's all about who's going to get the most impact here, as we do see that opening frag now. 2 players falling over on the Wyoming Valley West side. Big ult to find now a 3rd and a 4th, and it looks like Central Buck South looking to seal it here.
How many are they going to give the Quickster? I mean, I see what you did there. The impact in the fight finds the Kraken impact in the later do-si-do. And Central Buck South deliver on their own attacking side. Was it easy? No, by any means, no. But Wyoming Valley West, unfortunately, just couldn't get their offensive side going. And that means Central Buck South not only map victors as the Quickster earns back-to-back MVPs, but is also on series point.
Move themselves up 1 map away. Again, they just have been looking so good. I think the thing that stands out to me, 1, 2, 3 players who only fell once over the course of that map really tells the tale about how dominant the Titans have been looking so far.
That's the other tough thing, too. I think especially in the Marvel Rivals landscape, we talk about losing when you get that kind of silver lining of where to go. It's not as powerful as it is in some of our other titles. So we'll have to see obviously what Wyoming Valley West, wants to go. There's only one style of mode left to go, and it's the straight up escort mode. It's that convoy straight down the center line. So they get a map choice, but they don't really get to choose the mode of where they're going to go.
Yeah, 1 of 4 maps. They'll have to figure out where they want to go and see what's their best chance of turning things around. You mentioned right now, Wyoming Valley West looking down the barrel of a reverse sweep. I think most important, though, when you are in this position, just take it 1 map at a time. You don't want to put that too much pressure on yourself looking into the long term. It starts with this next map. Really, it starts with the first team fight, because since that first team fight on that first sub map of the first map, I can't really remember a team fight that has really looked dominant for Wyoming Valley West.
They've got to find that, right? I mean, this is the map where you have to start to turn things around. It's going to be pretty similar, I feel like, in overall ideals to what that last map was. There's a lot of different choices. I think if you want to go for a less horizontal one, you choose the Spider Islands. You have a lot of upwards platforms, but there's a lot of different choices to be made. And for Wyoming Valley West, it's, yes, an accomplishment to get here. You're probably already guaranteed a spot in state playoffs, but for Central Buck South, this could lock them into one of the best spots in the entire state playoff tournament.
So if your best matchups moving forward, they only have 1 more map to go if they look to do just that. Where do we go? And are they going to be able to complete the sweep? We'll find out on another side of this break. I think we've got all the technical difficulties figured out, so it should be a quick one. We'll be back with map number 3 right after this.
We're back, still here at the PIEA Conference Championships. That handsome man, your boy Q, myself, Llama77, for the mid-range setup from Marvel Rivals series that Central Buck South has been all but controlling since that second submap in map number 1. Now they've got a chance to most likely go back on that defensive side and try and close it out right here. And this has been a strong team performance from them across the day, and they're looking to pick up their second title across the day as well.
We talked about it before the break. We know that we are for sure off to Convoy. Where are we off to from there? Well, let's go ahead and find on out, shall we? We said it was one of 4 maps. We're off to that one right there. What's that first word, Llama?
It's Yggdrasil. It's a tough one to say. It's a tough one. Even
Appreciate you, big dog. Yeah, we're off the Yggdrasil path here for Convoy. And you had mentioned, probably going to be seeing CB South over on the defensive side. I think that's probably a good call here. We've seen them really, I think, establish a dominance in their team fights that when you start on the defensive side, you set a rather quick, obtainable finish line, which means there's less game to be played. Whereas obviously, if you start on the offensive side, you push the full distance, you still have to burn the full clock on the defensive side to be able to come out on top of the dub.
Yeah, absolutely. So the timing is now, though. I think there is still opportunities for Wyoming Valley West to fight through this series. I think that Central Buck South has started to figure out specifically their game plan of what they wanted to do. The pick and bans has definitely, I feel like, favored Central Buck South with a couple of those direct targeted ones. And we were talking about how, okay, both teams actually used that Magneto in map number 1. Central Buck South was like, we don't care. We're going to ban it away. We have more comfortable backup options than we think you played on map number 2 or map number 1. And, well, they were entirely correct in that.
See, as we get ready to go on in here, we mentioned what's on the line on the other side of the server for Wyoming Valley West. Well, yeah, CB South has a chance to be able to put themselves all the way towards the top of those state playoff standings. Wyoming Valley West, you drop this one here while you're still in state playoffs, you will have a tougher draw. So you would like to be able to find that bounce back. It starts with one map at a time. We'll have to start on the Yggdrasil path here for some Convoy, and it's going to be quite the challenge. It feels like the Titans over on their side of the server have been really warmed up again. I think the big thing that's been standing out to me is it seems once CB South figures out what order they want to kind of take down their targets and prio on the back line, they fall like dominoes once they figure it out.
The tough thing, too, is they've been swapping in members. They've been swapping roles across their team. It's hard to realize, okay, this is the gamer tag I'm seeing, and hard to not associate with, okay, this is what they were playing in map number 1 or map number 2, or this is what the team was doing. So they're just really bringing so many different things to the overall map. And we'll get to head into those pick bans once more. Wyoming Valley West will go to the defensive side as Central Buck South selects attack. Psylocke, that first ban for the 3rd map in a row.
Or the content, maybe looking to flex just a little bit or wanting to really make sure that, actually, you know what? I'm not really sure what the secondary option I was thinking on that is. I feel like for them, we saw when they opted for the attacking side, again, thinking back to Overwatch, they got tested a little bit more versus starting on the defense. So let's see how it works out for them.
I will be interested to see what the next pick is going to be. Obviously, Mr. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, gets to set up. It was a really good lockdown, and I will say, when we go back to what actually worked for Wyoming Valley West, that was something that actually worked. When they were popping that Hulk ultimate, it seemed like that was just a fight winner for them. Central Buck South, though, decided they are not allowing that Black Panther to get all the way into the last round of rotations to give you a chance to pick it away. They're banning it. So it's now a chance to go for your picks, and for Wyoming Valley West, this is an important one.
So, you know what? We'll give you the Bruce, I guess. We're going to make sure your second big hitter doesn't come through. But the Gambit will end up being picked up this time around again over on that Wyoming Valley West side. I'm trying to think. I don't remember seeing too much value from that in the last map.
It's a tough one because you're getting value for sure, but I would argue that Central Buck South also got a lot of value from that Gambit as well. So it's the same thing. It's the Doctor Strange. I feel like these picks are going more towards Central Buck South. Even of the 4 that are locked, I think 3 of them favor this CB South team. Wyoming Valley West, they get one more ban after the Venom is taken off the board. It is going to be the Deadpool. So a lot of supportive action with that ultimate as well. Can do a ton of damage. It's going to be taken off the board. So some changes will have to come through, but a chance for Central Bucks South to close this one out in a bang. They'll bring VRK up to the Wolverine, it looks like. And their two frontliners, they're going to go back to the Thor, was banned away in map number 2. And of course, they will bring back the Doctor Strange for Fireball Tub.
I'm excited for the Wolverine because I feel like a character you don't see quite as much in the current meta. But if there's anyone who could make it work, probably VKR is one of the players who can make it shake. We've seen them really be able to find an impact for the Titans quite a bit on the day. So let's go ahead and get ready to take to the map here for map number 3. Central Bucks South, they were able to pull off the gentleman's sweep for their Overwatch Conference Championship. Now looking to break out the traditional sweep here for Marvel Rivals.
Can they find the 3 in a row? I think that is a big question. I also think it's going to be an interesting question of where the damage comes from, because Wolverine, like you said, a little bit off meta, does do really good at cutting down the tanks, but can get caught out if he tries to dive too far into the backline. So they're really going to need, especially their frontliners, their vanguards, to be able to put the damage in, just like protecting the rest of their team. And it's a chunky composition on the other side. You're battling into a Magneto, you're battling into a Hulk, and you're seeing the result. VK are going in, getting stunned, but finding some good damage.
Find a little bit, and that's good here to open things up. They picked up one pick, which will push Wyoming Valley West back a little bit. I thought maybe we're going to lose a second. John Peanut getting relatively close, sitting on a sliver of HP. Way back in the traditional form and will fall.
We said it was a bold choice for Central Bucks South to choose the attacking side, but this is a heck of a way to start on the attacking side. I mean, just ripping straight on through. VKR finding the back line and then just dicing up those tanks as well. Wyoming Valley West are going to need some answers. They're not going to swap too much here going into this second fight. The real problem is you need those Vanguard ultimates more than anything. From Cooler, if you can land a good Meteor M, it can be fight changing, but John Peanut is already taken out of Hulk form, and there goes Mr. Poor Bruce Banner.
You're less than a meter away from unlocking this first checkpoint, and there it is, up to 5 minutes on the clock, and that is a whole heck of a lot of time, especially as they just continue to hold W and push forward against this Wyoming Valley West squad. They just can't seem to get anything going on the other side of the server, Llama.
It is partially a momentum thing, but I think when you go back to, again, the pick and bans, it is just absolute benefit going on right now from Central Bucks South. They get the Gambit picked by their opponents. They get this setup, and the Quickster is just free farming. Whatever they are on, they are finding their way in this map. It is 4.5 minutes. Here comes the Phoenix strike to the back line. It's going to do some good damage, and there's going to be the finish. VKR with the slice and dice. A single ultimate with 4 still available is enough from Central Bucks South.
4 in their pockets, and you've got a 5th one from Fireball W in just a moment that will have theirs as well. It feels like just off of the value from those 5 alone, not only should you be able to push past this second checkpoint, you should be able to get pretty close to the finish line here as well. Of course, Wyoming Valley West will be able to get quite a few of their ultimates available as well. Let's see if they can battle back.
They've got a few check marks available, that's for sure. Quickster, though, does find a double kill at the end of this fight. John is actually going to pop the ultimate to try and stay for this contest. Watermelon Cat is going to fall on the backside, and they are just going to delay this. I don't think they really care about that contest coming through, because they're going to hit this checkpoint anyways. Central Bucks South has added another 1.5 minutes. They're up to more time than they started with.
That's crazy, continuing to climb over on that Central Bucks side. And we said it was a wild decision to start on the attacking side, but maybe we're seeing why they wanted to. They had a strategy, and they wanted to show that they have the ability to not just hold the line, but to be able to complete the full push. The question for me is not so much if they'll complete the full push, Llama, but how much time's going to be left on the board.
Feels like it's going to be an infinite amount either way. Central Bucks South They don't have a ton of ultimates, I think is the biggest thing. They have that Raging Royal flush from Blaze, and Quickster just dies from going a little bit too far forward. Speaking of that Raging Royal flush, it's actually JJ who pops the ultimate, keeps the team alive. And they're actually tapping into some of the bans that were there for that map number 2. They bring out this Punisher. As I say it, I immediately curse them to death. And the Punisher dies. They get the Phoenix ultimate to the back line. It's a double kill from Arteme with the long-range damage. Wyoming Valley West, they've only got tanks left to go. And it's Fireball Tub who finds the double kill.
That's tough because now the tanks will be staggered away from the rest of the squad, which means if anyone steps out and in front of this death ball that has been building up over on the Central Buck side, they will be getting absolutely squashed, which means they'll wait for everyone else, the 2 tanks to come back into play, which means now they're already on the goal line. It's one last chance for Wyoming Valley West.
TikTok need to find the fight, and they're slowly inching it away. They just push them off of it. Very reminiscent of earlier today. They only drop, what is that, 26 seconds by their starter time from the time bonuses they gained. Wow. And Wyoming Valley West has a large journey in front of them.
That is pretty darn impressive. And yeah, they will have to try and find the full push. And while that time might be hard to beat, I think just the important thing is getting across the finish line itself. We'll address overtime itself when we get there, because these team fights only seem like the Titans continue to get better. Gonna have to be a complete 180 here from Wyoming Valley West.
They've got to find not only a push towards the end, but that'll only guarantee them overtime. And then they've got to find enough time to work with off of that. It feels like for Central Buck South, just a few team fights could end out this series and name them conference champions again. I mean, we talked about for the Quickster, this is the possibility to go not only back-to-back for them, but the Quickster could be on pace to set up a 3 MVP performance in a sweep.
Which would be pretty darn impressive. That's something that we don't see too often. I mean, when you got 6 players out there, generally the chances of someone else, I should say, stealing away MVP is pretty darn likely, even if it's just from your own team. But let's go ahead and see how well Wyoming Valley West do. It feels like if they're going to push this to the full distance, it starts with the very first fight. It's John Peanut who tries to push into the back line to get disruptive, but instead gets deleted.
It's a tough health bar to lose early. John will lose that secondary form after dropping out of the Hulk. It's going to be I love on the back line with a Magic who finds one before Fireball Tub is able to cut them down. John will be able to upgrade back into the Hulk, but has lost a majority of their team here. And Central Buck South do have the spawn disadvantage. So while Wyoming Valley West, they can spawn back, they can get right back into these fights, but they're investing a lot of time. And right now, everybody's surviving from CBS.
It's worth noting that the closer you get to that checkpoint, that flips, right? And when you get closer, that's where Central Buck South will be able to prolong the fights and waste even more of what's now 3 minutes that's left on the clock. Wyoming Valley West, the Spartans, they definitely got some fight in them. They've prolonged this second fight, but it will eventually be a team wipe from the Titans that'll send everybody back to their door. And now they have to regroup and see what they can put together.
I mean, the tough part too is you look at Blaze, has the ultimate still available. Even if you try and catch one of the backline members with something like a stun or a huge amount of damage, they have your number. And the problem is you just can't fight him with this Hulk straight up. There's so much damage in your face. It's the Magneto shield wall that takes John Peanut eventually down to that secondary form. And now you've got to play with just a stupid scientist instead of a big green man.
Yeah, the scientist just doesn't pack the same level of punch, you know what I mean? You need to make them angry to really be able to get that same sort of value. BKR sitting relatively low, good to be able to keep themselves standing though, and it's now 4 ults that are available for Central Buck South. They are short a player, however, in this fight, but they'll be able to continue to turn the tides, as it seems like the Titans still able to hold the line.
Half the time gone here for Wyoming Valley West. It's going to be the late Invisi barrier coming out from IHOP Pancakes, and the Quickster is able to find not one, but a second stolen away, actually. Blaze is going on a crazy kill streak for themselves, and it's still not too many ultimates invested. It feels like a game of chicken at this point that Wyoming Valley West are just waiting for Central Buck South's ultimates, but Central Buck South are genuinely okay just sitting here wasting the time.
Yeah, I mean, they still have 4 in their back pocket, and with only 82 seconds left, you can't really try and bait them out anymore. You just have to full send, which will eventually put you in the crosshairs once Central Buck South does actually break them out. And that's a couple of them that will be popped, and it allows for them to take control of this fight yet again and send players back to respawn. Jay will be the next one to join them.
I will say, for the Eye of Agamotto literally whiffing wide left to the goalpost and not hitting a single player, that was a pretty clean fight. VKR slices up the backline, finds a good ultimate of their own right, and it is Central Buck South who have chopped the time down to 45 seconds. It is now or never for Wyoming Valley West.
Spartans, they'll push until the very final moment. That's one thing that historically the Spartans are good at doing. But man, Wyoming Valley West, they've got such a tough line to have to try to penetrate here. Central Buck South, they are short 2 players though. Maybe there's a chance for the Spartans to bring things back. Slowly holding back is Central Buck South, but it seems like maybe can hold the line here for a bit.
They've got control of the payload, but these final 10 seconds will define their conference championship. They've got 4 on it as well. That thing will move super quick if they can just find the kills, but they've got the invisible barrier back. They're going to cut them down from the back line, and VKR is ready to jump back in the fight. It is Fireball Tub who finds the first blood. Cooler is dead. That means no shielded frontline coming through here. They have to rely on John Peanut. Back-to-back kills for Wyoming Valley West. They use their own healing to a perfect set of tones, but the music that Central Buck South is making is not good enough. It is falling flat at this point to try and find the fight. JJ, with one Kraken impact, could really change the flow of this entire map.
Still holding them at bay, almost to this next checkpoint. Can you finish it off with this fight? And it doesn't look like it's turning the tide here. It is Central Buck South. The overtime wick will continue to dwindle away, and that there means that Central Buck South will complete the sweep and are your Division 1 Eastern Conference Marvel Rivals champions.
After choosing the attacking side, I mean, the confidence from this team in map number 3, they get it done. They will find the sweep, and it is Blaze that steals away an MVP. So the Quickster won't get all 3 of them, but still a heck of an impressive showing from these 2 teams. From Wyoming Valley West, I think right there in the last 30 seconds was the best we had seen them. They had started to scale up, but just didn't give themselves enough time. JJ will earn the SVP here for map number 3, and I mean, honestly, had a lot of really good moments, just couldn't find that perfect Kraken impact.
I mean, this CB South squad, I think they only dropped, I am pretty sure, a singular map through the regular season, and we saw why. I mean, just in every fight, once they figured out what targets they wanted to prioritize, again, man, their team fighting ability to be able to wrap things up is pretty darn impressive.
And across multiple titles. I mean, across multiple different player sets. I think what's so impressive too is, I mean, we gave the Quickster a lot of praise, but I think it's very hard to go seamlessly from one team to another and be able to have the same communication levels that you did on that previous team with so many different characters and another voice added into the mix. It seems like at the core, whenever we watch a CB South team, their communication is just on another level.
Definitely does seem to be the case. We'll see where they fall as far as in that state playoffs lineup as far as next week. But we do still have one more Marvel Rivals champion to crown over here on the Esports Company Twitch channel, as we did make a slight change to our agenda here. I know we had teased as far as Rivals or some Valorant later, but we do move down to Division 2 for the Eastern Conference champion, and it will be Archbishop versus Mythacton. We'll be bringing that to you right on the other side of this break. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.